Hello, hello, hello. Is this thing on? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Live on Twitch. Instead of Saturday night, it's Sunday afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your support. And let's get into it. This is Bose831 Gaming live on Twitch. This is a continuation of my Twitch live stream series and Farming Simulator 22. Apologies, first of all, for the last minute schedule change from the typical Saturday night episode that we normally do, but had some things come up in real life and just had to switch it up a little bit. Unfortunately, it was kind of at the, it was due to the circumstance, it ended up being at the last minute. My apologies for that, but anyway, here we are today on a Sunday afternoon after a time change. If you're in the U.S., I don't know if they do time changes around the world and on the same schedule that we do here in the U.S. But here in the U.S., we just had a time change. We gained an hour. So anywho, here we are. Picking up kind of sort of from where we left off on the last episode, but let's go ahead and get everything set up here real quick. We're about after today's episode, we'll have 2 more episodes in this Elm Creek series before we hop over to the Silver Run Forest map in the Farming Simulator 22 Platinum expansion that's about to release. So, very excited about that. We're going to get to do some different things and try out some different equipment and all that great stuff. And we're going to go ahead and bring this series to its natural conclusion. And that's kind of where we're at on there. Remember, the Farming Simulator Platinum expansion releases on the 15th of November. And just get very excited and looking forward to that. It's time. It'd be great to have some new content in Farming Simulator 22, some new equipment. In fact, you can go to the Farming Simulator 22 website now, and if you go to their site, click on the DLC link on their website, you can now get a look at all the new equipment that you'll receive with the Platinum expansion. This is the expansion you will have to pay for. It's not free. If you have the season pass, you'll get it as part of the season pass, but otherwise you will have to pay for the additional content because it is an expansion pack to the base game. All right, but enough on that. We're just kind of hopping right in from where we left off on the last episode. I think we had just finished plowing and stoning 37 and 36 and 37, the cornfields. We still have the stone picker out there, and we can go ahead and turn that in now. We're done with the stone picker, so we can go ahead and return that back to the shop. And let's take a peek at at our production chains, where we at there. In particular, because we did all that rock picking, we should have a ton of rocks in our stone crusher that we also doubles as a lime creator. Well, where is that at? Here. So many things in the production menu, it can get pretty crazy sometimes. And that's still bottleneck because we are out of space, but we got 59,000 stones in there now. And that's just good to know. Let's see if we have enough room. Maybe we could take some out and clear some space and put it in a silo. Let's see. What's this silo holding? 35? No, that silo's full, so can't shuffle anything around right now to create any space for that to provide relief for that bottleneck. At least not at the moment. So let's see where we're at on everything else. Animals are good for today, I believe. I think we did take care of all that. in the previous episode, if I'm not mistaken. We got the horse riding out of the way. All right. And so before we jump into anything else, is there any field work we can do other than what we've already done so far? So let's go to the crop calendar. Nothing can be planted. So in that regard, there's no reason to really do any other field work until we're ready to plant. So we're reaching that point in the year right now where we can just kind of work on our production chains, and then other than that, just keep an eye out for optimum dates for sales of our productions. And I'll look at that, take a glance at that calendar in just a second. I don't have Google up in a separate one. I don't know why I struggle saying that word, Google. All right, let's see here. I should have had these things prepared before I started this episode. All right, so we'll go here, close that for the moment. And we're in the month of November, so what's for sale in November at the best price is your bread and your canola oil. So let's go take a look at our bread and our canola oil from our productions. Whoops. Now when I want to go there, and we got 44,000 liters of bread stored right now. It's nowhere near maxed out. And canola oil, we don't have any right now. So do we have any canola that we could move over into that production? We have 6,905. That's nothing, and that's already being distributed to the production. So we could move some bread probably, but we'll see. But it looks like we're done here for today, I believe, so we can move on to the next day. Yeah. So let's go ahead and advance to the next day. I think we're done with everything we can do on day 1 in November. And if we missed anything, oh well. Let's go. All right, we're on day 2 in November, and we're gonna hop to it, and get to our farm activities and all that stuff. But remember, our goal is to try to get the baby horses in business before we end this series. So let's kind of go ahead and rush through the things we'll be doing for the next couple of months. We really need to get through November, December, and January, and get to February as quickly as possible. So that's what we're shooting for here. So we're just going to kind of motor through everything. There is one thing I forgot to check. I think we are able to, should be able to mow grass, but since we're not out of the month of November, I'll double check that in just a second. And we can probably go ahead and do a mini grass harvest. All right, now we're just going through all the greenhouses. you're new to the series, I run modded greenhouses on this map, not the base game greenhouses. And these greenhouses require additional inputs, which include seeds and or fertilizer and manure, and in turn they produce additional outputs. And that's what we're doing now. We're providing the seeds for the greenhouses. Can't see exactly where the triggers are at, so we just kind of have to make our best estimate on where they are. And I found that dumping right in front of the double doors in each of the greenhouse hits the triggers most of the time, but not all the time, but it's fairly reliable. Alright, so we're done with the seeds. And basically, this is what we're going to be doing for the bulk of the episode now, because we're kind of in the off season, so we're just going to be tending to the animals. For the most part, until we cycle back into the planting season. So nothing super exciting in tonight's episodes until we kind of get to what I've been aiming for here for a while now, and that's trying to get these horses born. Because out of all the animals in the game, they have the longest cycle till you get to the point where you have newborns. It's really crazy. I guess that's also why a lot of people don't play horses. But it all depends on, you know, your personal preferences. I normally don't play horses a lot either, but I guess for this series I just wanted to do something that was a little bit different from the norm. So I figured I'd throw them in there as well. But it does definitely add a little bit of a time-consuming couple of elements to the game, and that the horses require daily riding, and there's no way to streamline or automate that process, unfortunately. Like again with some of the processes with the other animals. All right. And this has just been a week of different adjustments, you know, in both my personal and professional life, you know, outside of the game and even inside of the game here, and even inside of the realm of gaming. Because as you know, I play on the Xbox Series X, and I'm also a participant in the Microsoft or Xbox Insider program, so we get to preview upcoming updates to the Xbox, get to test out games, the Xbox operating system, you know, and test out different functionality, provide an opinion on different things, and so on and so forth. And one of the big things that's happened here in the last week or so is Microsoft has unveiled a redesign of the Xbox dashboard. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not a fan. It's like they ignored all the feedback over the years from gamers and went with their ideas on what they think is cool, and just totally disregarded all the input that they've received from people over the years about the Xbox dashboard. You know, I'm still trying to get used to it, because it's made it more difficult to find things that I normally use on a regular basis. You know, and like many have said online, the dashboard is like a big Game Pass ad in a way, the way they designed it. But the funny thing is it doesn't even make it easier to use Game Pass. The previous version of the dashboard, it was actually easier to use Game Pass. You know, so, and it's harder to find certain things that were easier to find within Game Pass itself before this redesign. And I hope that they kind of roll this back and maybe rethink this base, because I know my opinion in this redesign is not alone, and it's, from what I can see online, it's a pretty solid general consensus from, you know, many Xbox users that this is not the way they want to go. But then again, since they did this redesign, it looks like they did it without much consultation with gamers. I don't think it could be with the stuff I've seen on it online. You know, I don't know. It's like they stuck their head in the ground and said, hey, here's some great ideas, and worked in a bubble or something, and didn't get any feedback from people in the community per se before they rolled this out. I don't see how it could have been, because anybody who thinks this redesign is more user friendly and easy to use, certain elements of the screen on my Xbox dashboard, even when I'm inside of Game Pass, I have to make more clicks to get the stuff that I usually can get to in 2 clicks, you know, it within Game Pass. So if their intent was to promote Game Pass, they made a step backwards and made it a little bit more harder to use Game Pass from the dashboard. But I don't know if the folks working on this even realize that. I'm like, based on the design, I'm just wondering, like, do they even like get feedback from actual users, or you know, because this has me scratching my head on this one, guys. And I'm a big pro Xbox guy, but this one, you know, has me a bit frustrated here. But I hope it's not a permanent design, because if not, I'm not very happy with it, you know, at all. But I digress, because I actually had to create a shortcut to Game Pass so that I can get the version of the Game Pass front end or dashboard that I like, so that I can get to things, because I'm also a participant in the Xbox Rewards program, and I need to be able to see what the Game Pass daily quests are, and you know, and with the new dashboard redesign, they don't even have a selection for that on that dashboard. So I had to create a shortcut just so I can get to that, you know. And that's not intuitive at all. That's not promoting Game Pass in the way that it needs to promote it. If you want people to use Game Pass, you want to make things easier to use, not harder to use. Now I'll get off my soapbox. All right, so we're done with that part of the yard work here. Check on the water. And I know that's not Farming Simulator related per se, but it is Farming Simulator related in the way that it relates to Farming Simulator as I game on my chosen platform, which is Xbox. Because another crazy thing about this new dashboard is they have this ability where you can create tabs or pages for or at least rows on the dashboard for all your favorite games. You can save them like shortcuts to the games, but the shortcut for Farming Simulator 22, when you create it and you select the play button on it, for whatever reason it won't load the game. So I still have to go to my pins in order to start the game, and it's the only game that does that for whatever reason. I don't know why that's happening, but it won't play from that button that you create. I have to go to pins to start the game, even though I created this shortcut, you know, in the dashboard for it as well, but that shortcut won't work. So it's really crazy. Sorry, I don't mean to totally go on a rant about this new Xbox dashboard update, but this is one of the worst ones I've experienced in a long time. And normally Xbox and Microsoft do, you know, pretty decent with their dashboards. You know, they always have some stuff, and they've always, for whatever reason, held steadfast in having this tile-based design that has, you know, a significant amount of ad space in the design. And I don't know why they don't get away from that, because it's, you know, they don't need, they need to shift their focus from this whole ad-based design perspective, even though I know that's where a lot of the industry is trending, but it's just not one of those pro-consumer things. And lately, Microsoft has done some pretty pro-consumer based things, but this is not one of them. Now, there was some recent conversation here, especially I know on the PlayStation side, with the PlayStation raising the price of the PlayStation in Europe, and now there's some speculation that Microsoft might be raising their prices on the Xbox and Game Pass at some point in the near future. Phil Spencer was asked about it and basically gave a not right now type of answer, but definitely not one where they said they weren't hard steadfast on not raising any prices. But the answer he provided was pretty ambiguous, but you can take that for what it is. But anyone that's being realistic knows the prices can't stay where they are anyways. That's what's going on in the world. Inflation, people in America, because I'm located in America, we're having this big deal about inflation, but inflation is something, if you're paying attention to the world economy, that's affecting the world right now. It's not just us here in America. The whole world is facing a lot of inflation now. A lot of that's due to events that's going on in the world, including the conflict in Ukraine and a host of other factors that are affecting world stability. You got issues with North Korea and China and some of the actions that they're taking, and all these things have impacts unfortunately, on the economies around the world. And the U.S. does not operate in a bubble, even though a lot of people here act like it does. We are not. We're part of a world economy, and all these things factor in. Everybody here loves to think, it's the president this, the president that, but the president does not have the powers of God. There's a lot of things around the world that affect our economy, not just stuff that's going on here in the U.S. But I'm sorry, getting off on a bunch of different tangents here tonight that are not Farming Simulator related. One of the other things I've been thinking about doing, and maybe I'll get into that in the not too distant future, is I think I may just set up a channel just where I can sit down and have a little soapbox. Maybe if I'm just talking to myself, but just need to vent on certain issues. So oops. All right, that just rolled down the hill and just crashed all my bales there. But I'm thinking about doing like a series or a page or something. Probably well, I don't know if I'm going to do like a live stream series, but have a separate series where it's not totally related to gaming per se, but where I sit down and just kind of vent, if it's nothing but just for me, and it's just videos just for me, so I can have a little bit of sanity and just talk about some of the things that's going on in the world and in gaming and just in general, just for sanity, man. There's a lot of stuff out there right now. There's a lot of crazy things going on out there, and we all need that, So I may just do. And when I originally started on doing stuff on the internet, in the early days of YouTube, and I wish I had jumped on it now, because I probably would have a channel and be making some money and doing all that stuff like so many of the other YouTubers out there. As I had the idea to have this YouTube channel called One Black Man's Opinion, and it was just going to be a channel where I came on and just talked about different things, from my own personal perspective as a black dude here in the U.S., But just real life came up, and a lot of things came up, and I just got away from it. I never got back to it. But I had that idea long before YouTube got to be what it is today, when YouTube was just a fledgling application. I wish, but hindsight is foresight, that I had more time to get into that and actually do what I thought about doing, because I probably would have had a big, or at least a halfway decent channel by now, so many years ago. But life is life, and it is what it is, and so here we are today. But that's something on the sidebar I may end up doing. But if I do, I'll let you folks know, and that'll be on YouTube, of course. And it may just be something where every once in a while I just get on there and do like a little 5-minute rant. Because that was my original idea for the channel anyway, was just to have this whole thing called One Black Man's Opinion, where I just get on the channel and just rant for a few minutes about stuff that's bugging me right now. And that's why my original plan was just to call the channel One Black Man's Opinion, and just for 5 minutes or so I just get on there, do my rant, and then get off and let the comments fly. But that was just going to be like a little sanity check for me, and nothing more, nothing less. But I still may revisit that idea in the not too distant future. Oh, all right, that's not where I want you at. Now, the struggle is real getting this bad boy in here. All right. Normally I don't have this much trouble getting the last one in here, but today I'm struggling a little bit. Ah! All right, yeah. Normally I just drop it right in there. Let's see. I had to stop talking and maybe concentrate here on what I'm doing. But see, my problem is I can't get the angle right. All right. Oh well. Close ain't enough. It just doesn't want to sit in there, and I don't have the patience to. There it goes. Okay. Working my patience right now, Bills. All right, we'll work these two. We'll just do two at a doggone time, because I ain't got the patience today. All right, so we'll just do them two at a time. My patience isn't what it normally is right now, and for whatever reason I can't per se get it to line up in there and drop in like how I normally get it to do, and just spending too much time trying to put a square peg in a round hole. So we'll keep it moving. But we're blowing the straw for the pigs and the cows. That's a done deal. So we don't want to waste too much time on this stuff today, because we're going to be doing this multiple times. In fact, this is going to be just the episode. All right. This is all about animals, animals, animals. All right, we're done with the straw. Let's do the pig feed. Just go right around here. Alright, pig feed's happy. Top off the pig food. And then drop that pig food trailer back off. finally, let's do, since this straw bale cooperated so well, go ahead and drop it off. And go grab a couple of silage bales and hay bales and take it from there. And we're gonna need to, otherwise, since this series is ending, we won't get into that now, but if the series were to continue, we definitely have to get in the business of acquiring some more grass fields so that we can kind of balance out the grass production, so that we would be self-sufficient and not having to buy bales from the shop every now and then. Okay, I do this all the time. Why is this being so janky right now? Alright, bet that. Come on, get off of this. Back up. The square bales are clearly heavier than the round bales, so they bring more issues for the front loader. Technically, we could probably have stood to have a weight on the back of the front loader, for obvious reasons. Not even sure what weights would work with the front loader. Maybe that's something we'll look at doing. I definitely wouldn't want to drive the front loader to the shop to go pick up a weight though, so I don't know. But maybe that's something to do today. This late into the series, after I've already kind of messed around with the issue of having it where it's often unbalanced most of the series due to not having enough weight on the rear. Alright. My driving is just leaving something to be desired today. I'm just running into things, bumping around, all this great stuff. All right. All right, we're good there. All right, and that last stop is the horses, of course. Because a horse is a horse is a horse is a horse is a horse. And got a little Kubota RTV. So we can drop off the straw and the horse food. And that will be that. And then we'll get the horse riding out the way. And I think that's all we'll have for today. And then we'll move on to the next day. Grab a load of horse food. Let's see if 714 should be plenty because the trailer in this RTV only holds 1,000 liters anyway. And that's why we don't let the horse food get too low and we just keep it topped off. That way this trailer works fine for the task at hand, as long as we just use it to keep the fuel levels for the straw and the oat topped off. But even if we didn't, we just have to make multiple trips, that's all, at 1,000 liters a pop. All right. And I just like having a system. All right, so now finally, if we can get on it, horse riding time. And that'll be the last thing we take care of today, I think. But I'll double check if there's any other tasks that we want to get knocked out there. And one of the other things I did talk about in previous episodes, and that was like trying to get this operation set up to where it's fully self-sufficient. We're close to that. There's a few things I didn't get set up that I kind of talked about doing that I wanted to do. Ooh, that's a new billboard there with the Beamer Pack DLC, which is is that like the second DLC, I think? Yeah, because the third one was the Kubota Pack. Yeah. And that pack was, I didn't really get into using the equipment from that pack in this series, but that pack was centered around baling and some machines related to baling and mowing from the Beamer company. Actually, though, maybe that's something we can do tonight. This afternoon, while we're thinking about it, just to kind of mix things up. Maybe we'll lease some Beamer equipment here in just a second, because we do have some mowing that we can get knocked out. That's a thought. All right, so, and since we're on this theme of expansions and DLCs, why not? But you know, the DLCs for year one pass for Farming Simulator 22, you had the Antonio Carrero pack, which is a bunch of small tractors and small equipment, mostly related to vineyards and vineyards and grape farming, and olive farming. Then we had the what did we have after that? We had the, whoops, losing my train of thought here. get turned around. Or did we have the Kubota pack and then the Beamer pack? I don't remember what order they came in, but we had the Kubota pack, which had a bunch of Kubota tractors and related equipment, and we had the Beamer pack. We had a few other free DLCs. We had the Precision Farming update. We had the AGI pack, which was a bunch of silos and equipment related to the silos and augers and so on and so forth. And we had another grape, ERO Grape Liners Series 7000. That was a free DLC, and that's a grape harvester. Sure, got those. Okay. How did I get stuck in there? The struggle is real trying to talk and do things at the same time today. It's like walking and chewing gum. We also had the pumps and hoses pack, but that was, and that's a separate DLC, third-party DLC. That's an official third-party DLC for Farming Simulator 22, but you'd have to purchase that separately. That was not part of the season pass or anything like that. And we also had an old tractor, the Porsche Diesel Junior 108, that was released a couple of weeks ago as a free, as a paid DLC. It's also not part of the season pass or anything like that, but you can purchase it separately if you want to. Same way like the pumps and hoses. And then we got the upcoming Platinum expansion. Okay, what? That will be released on November the 15th. But man, I'm really trying to struggle because I'm facing my computers over to my left, excuse me, and the TV that I'm operating on while I'm doing this live is to my right as I'm working on the computer, so I'm having to look. I can't look two directions at the same time because if I'm doing something on a PC, I have to look over to my left while the game is over to my right. So it's kind of hard to work on the PC while also trying to control the game at the same time, because you're like trying to work in two different directions at the same time instead of if everything was in front of me. So that's why it's a little bit of a struggle, because I have to actually look away from the big screen and over to my left to kind of navigate and jump around on the PC. And that's why sometimes, like when I'm on this live and I'm driving along and I suddenly drive off the road, that's why, because I probably was distracted or trying to do something on the PC at the same time while I'm still trying to, control the game as well. All right, but there's the Beamer pack. And actually, they even got the little 108 on the billboard as well, don't they? Yeah, it's over here. That's the Porsche Diesel Junior 108 over here on that billboard. So both of those billboards have changed. But I haven't really done anything with any of the stuff in the Beamer pack, but we can go look at that in the menu here in just a moment, since we may have a situation where we need to harvest and bale some grass. So just need to make sure that the equipment in there supports the type of baling I want to do right now, because I'm trying to do, we're working on doing square bales now instead of round bales. And the way we're working it now is I'm doing the largest size square bales that the game allows in the 240 centimeter square bales. So we'll take a look here and see if that DLC supports those size bales here in just a moment, because I haven't really done that much with the equipment from that pack, because that was, while it's definitely great to have that additional equipment in the game, it's not anything that I was really super excited about, or that based on how I play I would really get into using that often, because I have, you know, other processes that I do in my playthroughs as far as my baling goes. Let's see, did we get everybody? Alright. Alright, so we're good to go. Let's go take a look at the production chains. And we already know we're good there, but just want to make sure we're not aware of any other issues that we might need to address while we're out here. No, I think we're good. So we can jump on to the next day. And that's what we're going to do. Let's go to the main farmhouse. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, we wanted to check on the grass situation. So, let's go. Where are we? I'm lost. Alright, here we go. Had to get my bearings there for a second. Never mind me. I'm lost. So, let's go. We'll hop back over to the main farm, and before we advance today, let's go. Yeah, I could have looked at it from the filters menu, but we just go run right over there. Alright, the grass is ready to harvest. I just don't know if it's in state 1 or state 2. So since it's ready to harvest, it won't hurt it if we just go ahead and go to the next day just to be safe and make sure it's at its second harvest state. Even though I don't know if it'll, which is still, I don't know if it, there's not a advance to the next harvest state in the winter months, but I don't know if they really simulate it to that deeply or not. But in either case, we're moving on to the next day. And now we're in the winter. December. No snow on the ground, but we are in the winter, hence those snowflake there by the December 1. Now, before we get started, rinsing and repeating on all the daily yard work and all of that stuff, I want to run back over here and see if I visually see any difference in the state of the grass. I don't think we will. It still looks like it's in the same state. But it is ready to harvest, so I think we will go ahead and harvest that this month in December and do everything we need to do there. But first, let's do all our regular farm-related stuff, and then we'll work on that harvest. First up, barley. Feed the chickens. There's barley for the chickens. silo. Get our seeds. See if we can get all the triggers. As I was scrolling through the production menus there, I noticed that we did miss some spots. But that's going to happen sometimes, but as long as they stay in the green, that's all that really matters. And but one of the beautiful things about this game is it sometimes makes the simplest things more difficult than they need to be, and then other times it's vice versa. It just depends on what you're doing. And one of the other things you have to take into consideration as a console gamer is this is a PC game that's been adapted for console, but at its heart it's still a PC game. So all the stuff, all the little cons of playing on console, you have to take into consideration that, you know, that whole thought process. And I know as a lot of console players, we like to think we're the greatest thing on earth since sliced bread, but PC will always come first. A console will never be or have the freedom as the platform of the PC. It's just not possible, because that's not the way the console platform even works. So when I see guys, you know, upset about why you can't have this on console, we can't have that on console, the answer is always the same: because it's on console. You know, if you don't want the restrictions of being on console, then you need to play on a computer. A console, you know, at its core is designed a specific way for a reason. That's why it's a console in the first place. So you're always going to have certain restrictions based on the console design itself, you know, and what company is behind that design, whether that be Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo. They're all going to be the same. You can hate them for that, but that's part of the reason the console works as it is because it's a controlled design space. And in theory, the developers are supposed to be at an advantage because you know exactly what hardware you're specifically designing for. But if you've been paying attention to some recent gaming news lately, a lot of developers have been you know, arguing against that point, especially as it relates to development for the Series S. Interestingly enough, you know, because it seems like to me, and I work on technical adjacent, and I'm more familiar than most folks about how some of these things work. But I find it interesting that some developers find it restricting to work for a set platform. You should be able to design for that set platform and just optimize your finished product, because you already know what your limitations are on that platform. But you know, apparently that's not the case. But I don't work in game development, but I do work with developers for enterprise systems. So, and I'm a tester in my day job, so I am a lot more technical adjacent than most folks. In their previous careers, I've worked as a electronic technician and also a product reliability tester. And so I've been technical adjacent for many years. So I'm familiar with a lot of things in the industry, more than most folks are. And definitely familiar with a lot of practices as far as developers go. Because a lot of the industry standards are the same, even though I work more in state government now, but I have worked in a technical adjacent in the private sector as well. Even though that was for a large defense contractor. A lot of those industry standard practices are still the same, regardless of what type of development you're doing in a lot of cases. It's like these days, a lot of these guys operate using the Scrum and Agile development methodology. That's the trending thing these days. But I digress. All right, well, we got the manure. It's basically a repeat of what we did yesterday. So the only thing we're going to do probably different today is we may just go ahead and deal with that grass situation. I just don't know, because if you look at the crop calendar, I don't think during certain months of the year that like December and January, I don't think the crops advance in growth anymore. And you can even see that here if you go down to the grass calendar. You see the grass doesn't grow in December, January, or February based on this calendar. So grass won't pick up growth again until March. So what I may do is just to start the cycle off, so we'll be right at the beginning. We'll go ahead and cut what we have as it's ready at its current ready to harvest state. Just deal with that yield, whatever that might be. So then, and have the grass prepped and ready to grow. So when March rolls around, it can pick up on the March growth cycle immediately. Just start the whole entire cycle right from that very beginning. But we'll have the grass all prepped and ready to grow and fertilized and in the right state on where it needs to be. Start growing immediately in March. So we'll just go ahead and harvest what we do have that's already ready to harvest. And that'll be the big thing we'll do on this afternoon's episode. Because other than that, it's all just general maintenance stuff. Oops. Let's see. Although looking at my crib sheet here, it looks like cheese is a production chain product that's ready to harvest in December. So we'll take a look at our cheese to see. I think I have that set to sell automatically, but don't quote me. But we'll take a peek at that. Just a second here. just trying to make the best time that I can here. I don't think we'll get to the baby horses today, but maybe if we do everything we need to do on today's episode, we'll be ready for the baby horses. On the next episode, our next or last episode here. So I think we should be able to track and probably make it to at least to January to today, but we'll see. Back that up. Probably could do some vehicle maintenance on the TLX. It is getting a little bit down there, so we will go ahead and do that real quick. Back that up there. Hop out of there. There you go. Hop in the shop. And do some repairs. Repairs. Yes. It's just some general vehicle maintenance, right? Get her back all in tip-top shape. Alright. So, you know the routine. Let's hop over here since we already got the John Deere posted up on the pig food. We'll start with pig food this time around. Alright, we're here. We do want to take a peek at the pigs to see what, do we have any pigs that are at 10 months or not? Where we at? 7 months. Whoops. I'm gonna drive into the bunker. Alright. Start filling. Alright, so pig food is good to go. And let's do the straw blowing. Which is always this fun and exciting thing for me. Let's see here if we can get it lined up. Okay, the trigger didn't pop. What was that all about? Still not very. Cows go to use a ton of straw. As you can see, they go and eat it for their bedding, and they also eat it in their feed. Even though it's much less in their feed, it's just a mixing agent in their feed, but they need a lot more for their bedding. So we got all the straw needs taken care of for the cows. We'll just do the same for the pigs. And see if we can have some better luck with the bale management this time. And I guess because I'm trying to get through things quickly, I'm just rushing a little bit and just not being as smooth as I normally am with the handling, bale handling. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna drop one in there. And let me see. I think what I can do is let me try something a little different here on the back end. I have an idea on how I can get around that issue I was having earlier. Alright, we grab that one bale. And I'll try coming. This direction. Let's see if that gives me a little bit better results. Oops, if I line it up correctly. Yeah, that's all. Ah! Alright. I'm trying to be patient, guys. Now, what I would like to do is be able to just drop it right in here from this direction. There we go. But then the issue that I run into is backing off. Okay, there it is. Alright, that's good. We'll take it. But still, that's way too much effort for it to get out of it, so that'll probably be the last time I do that. I'd just rather go with the two. Alright, we're done with straw. At least as far as the straw blower is concerned. You can just kind of park it out of the way and go back over to the front loader exclusively. Given the issues that we just had previously trying to do the dance with two bales, we'll just do one at a time. So let's grab a silage. Apparently 2 silage bales are too heavy. So we'll drop off one. And Bring back another if necessary. Here's that it is. Alright, and there's one there. Alright, and let's grab some hay. Alright, and we can use another hay. And then finally we'll do the straw. And this is for the cows TMR mix. And again, we don't necessarily have to do this every day, but I find it just a simpler process to do it that way than to wait until the levels get down. And this way you don't have to make as many trips at one time. And as you can see, when I was driving out, I knocked all those bells out of alignment. Super annoying, but it's just how I've been driving today. And I mean, I've knocked them out big time, didn't I? Let's see. Push them back. Yeah, the driving struggle has been a little bit of an adventure today. I'm picking up the bales over here. I can't. Part of the issue when I come from the right side is that there's a big incline. The surface is not flat, so it's a lot harder to line up your bale spikes if you're coming from the side. Come on, bub. So I can only really safely come from the right side versus the left side versus the right side. All right, so we're done there. Let's hop over to our horses. Wilda. RTV, activate. And we got our feed. Our straw first and then our feed. All right, we're done there. So let's get to our horses. And again, double checking the December production change. Oh, what is it? The production change? No, we want to look at the. We'll have to come back to that in just a second. Get the horse turned around. I do multiple things at the same time. We want to do the prices. Because I believe cheese is available in December to be sold. And January is the best price for cheese. And where did I get that information from? Alright, I'm confused. Where did I... Oh. That's... So my calendar is not incorrect. Alright, let's hop on here. Come on. These controls can be a bit clunky. Alright. So why do I have cheese in December when it really should be? Alright, looking at cheese. best months are September and January. Why did I have December? Okay. G should be September. There. Can't keep the horse going, driving straight either. I gotta double check this entire chart because now if I have a chart that I have on that I made on Google Sheets to kind of help me be able to eyeball what are the best months to sell my productions. And I have it charted out with the best 2 months. And guess what? I need to refine it a little bit though. Put 2 colors because I basically have it set where now it just shows green for the best 2 months. I think I need to have 2 versions of green. One green for the optimum month, and then another green. Oh, unlocked an achievement. Didn't see that one coming. One green for the best month, and then another green for the second best month. Alright, and then once we get the horse riding done, then we'll take a look at this grass harvest, and that'll be the last thing we'll work on today. And that'll probably be where we end this episode, is with the grass harvest. And if we have time, we'll go do the harvesting and the baling in this episode. And if we don't get that finished today, we'll go ahead and wrap that up on next week's episode. And that should take us right into January and February. Alright, and finally, can we get on the horse? Like, that's all I ask. I just want to get on the horse. And I think off camera, I'm gonna have to go through my production calendar again and double check for accuracy as well. I thought I had made it pretty accurate, but it looks like I do have some mistakes in it, so I need to make some corrections there. I just needed something where I can kind of figure out the best months at a glance, because the end game chart graph is just really not all that user friendly and easy to follow at all. It's not easy to follow at all. Because one of the things, if you look at it, like some of the optimal months actually have a red bar instead of a green bar. You would think the best months would have green bars instead of red bars, but that's not always the case. As you can see here, cheese, the best months The best month is January. The second best month is September. All right, horse riding is done. Horses are done. So now we get on to the next task. This is what we wanted to look at. Let's look at it from the perspective of mods and DLCs. We want to go to the Beamer pack. So that's this way the equipment will be easier to find than going through all the other equipment menus, because I don't necessarily know what categories all these machines might be in. And this is the Beamer, all the contents of the Beamer pack. You have the Beamer BXP 9010, which I guess this is a blower, I think. Yeah, it's a straw blower. Then you got the ZR5 1200, and I guess that's just their baling vehicle or something. I don't even know what you would call it. Then you have the windrower, and that's the R2800. You got a baler, and you got a mower. And the mower has a 6.3 meter width. All right. So we'll go ahead and lease that and lease the mower. And part of the reason why I haven't really used the pack that much is because if you own a tractor, you can do the same thing with your tractor. So I don't know what the purpose of how does this even work? I don't even know how this stuff works. Oh, this is a baler itself, huh? A shucky decky. Guess we didn't need to lease this, because I'm not doing round bales. We're on the square bale. We're in the square bale business. We're not trying to go back to doing round bales. So I already know we're gonna return that lease immediately. But we can go ahead and use the mower. We'll go ahead and use the mower since we got that lease. What? I thought I disconnected. Excuse me. But no, actually we won't even do that, because one of the things I wanted to do was, let me just go ahead and use the setup that I was attempting to use on one of my previous episodes that we couldn't get to cooperate properly, and I wanted to show that off. Because while the Beamer pack is okay, it's just not any equipment that I would use in the way I play in particular. But you have it if you want to use it. Speaking like this mower, we could go kind of just show it off real quick. But I don't even use these style mowers at all. I don't like them, but you can unfold it here. And there that's how that worked. And you could have that windrower. But we're going to return that. And I'm just going to get into the way I want to do it that I was trying to set up on one of the last episodes as well. Let me turn that. So let's go into, let me show you the kit that I want to use. Where are we at? It is, I can find it in the DLC here. Where are you? Not that one. No, I can't seem to find it. I know it's here somewhere. Where are you? That's everything. I know it's on here somewhere. Let me take my time. Bear with me, guys. I know it's not John Deere. Ah, here we go. The silage pack. And normally we would use the windrower that comes with that pack, but I have other ideas. So let's lease this. And we want to lease the wrapper. But as far as windrowing goes, we want to go with this. If we're doing all the realistic stuff, we would definitely use the Veemer pack, windrower. Struggling with getting certain words out lately. Here's how we're going to do this. Leave that weight here at the shop. We'll come back for that later. But this is the mowing configuration that we want to work with. Start with the square baler. And then we'll have the wrapper attached to it. And then at the end of that chain, at the beginning of the chain, we will have the windrower. And that's how we'll do that configuration. But I just totally forgot that we got to mow first. So actually, I should have kept the Veemer pack mower for that portion of the exercise, I guess. So let's try that again, shall we? We'll actually use the mower from the Veemer pack. I got ahead of myself. We should have kept that lease, so I'm just throwing away money. But it's all good. We'll lease it again, and we'll use that for our quick mowing, and then we'll come back with all of the equipment you see behind me, and we'll go bale it up. Let's go now do our mowing real quick. And then we'll come back and grab the other equipment from the shop and do our baling. once again, making things way more complicated than they need to be, but we got it. And there's a bee farm and a farm and a canola field in the main farmhouse. And let's go ahead and unfold this mower. And normally I'm not too worried about picking up stuff on the fringe of the field, but I'm going to try to maximize our potential a little bit this time, so we may try to pick up some of the stuff on the side just a little bit. Alright, so let's lower the mower, turn it on. Yeah. Alright, we're mowing. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan per se of the side mount mowers. I'm more like the butterfly mowers, or the ones that pull directly behind, more so than the butterflies that kind of pull along the side. It's just all a matter of preference. And we're just gonna not get this field mowed up real quick. It's not a huge field, so it won't take too terribly long to mow everything here. And with the setup that we saw that I had staged at the shop, what we'll be able to do with that setup is just come in and windrow, bale, and wrap all at the same time. And that's our goal with that equipment and that particular setup. Taking a bunch of steps that could ordinarily be done separately and doing them all at one time. And then of course we still have to lease a trailer and then come back and pick up the bales. And in real life, you know, you'd have you have your tractor and your bale spikes, or you have a front loader, a tractor with a front loader attacher and bale spikes. Or you'd have a standalone front loader machine, but still with the same type of attachment that you would have on the tractor. Alright, now would be a good time probably to do a screenshot. So let's pause for a second here. Let me go to screenshot. Alright, and I just hired a worker as well. Let me see how the worker does with this setup. And for whatever reasons, the workers like to leave spots for us humans to come back and have to clean up. I always find it interesting how they can sense certain parts of the fields, but in other sections they can't, which is just really interesting how that the game AI works in general. And actually, now that I think about it, I could have used my Kubota tractor with this setup, and then had this tractor, which has more horsepower, running behind it with the other setup. So we could do both of these things at the same time, and as fast as he's mowing, I could have been baling, but again, didn't think about it, but it's okay now. Because I know the Kubota would not have enough horsepower to run that entire configuration as it is, but this Massey Ferguson is almost a 300 horsepower tractor, so I'm sure it could run it. Kubota maybe not so much, because I think the Kubota is what, only 260 or something like that. Let's see. Oh no. Yeah, the Kubota is 200 horsepower. The Massey Ferguson's 280. Actually, the John Deere is my most powerful, huh? Actually, well, let's do this then, because it doesn't have... still not so far out of the woods that we can't go ahead and operate that way, since our worker seems to be happy. So if we actually take the John Deere to the shop, that means I will have to go back to the shop with the Massey and pick up the weight that I left at the shop. Or actually, well, no, I can't do that, because the John Deere is going to have attachments on the front and the back. Okay, that's one there. Alright. Fold the one on the front. Now all of a sudden traffic wants to appear, huh? Gotta love it. Been driving down the road multiple times today and haven't seen a single car, and now all of a sudden they're popping up when you got equipment in tow. Alright, so let's lower windrower. Turn on windrower. Unfold bailer. Little pickup. Turn on bailer. Unfold bail wrapper. Turn on automatic drop. Alright, yeah, let's see how we do. And what we don't want to do is what we did last time and trying to get this whole configuration turned around and got stuck in the trees. Not going to be that complicated this time. If we have grass that we miss, we'll have to figure out a different angle to come back to it, but we won't do it in a straight line because that gets us, because this train is too long, we can't turn around that way and get stuck and caught up in the trees that are at the top and bottom of the field. Well, the road at the top and the trees at the bottom. So if we miss product, we just have to be creative in how we come back to pick it up. And given that we've got this train towing behind us, we definitely will miss some product. Okay. Our worker is making it interesting, I see. And due to the room that I have to work with on this field, as far as the top and the bottom, I having to be creative about what angles we come in and out of here. To try to get everything in place so that we can pick up the material that we've mowed. This is certainly a bit of a challenge trying to drive this train. But you get the whole idea here. It does work, but it's not easily steered. It's not easy to drive at all, but it does work. And with this configuration, we are able to windrow and bale and wrap for silage at the same time. And it just occurred to me that I forgot that we actually did not want to do silage this time. We actually were supposed to do hay, but I forgot all about that. So we're kind of out of sequence here. But that's okay. We're actually supposed to do hay this time. I just have to remember the next time we do grass, we want to do hay and not silage. Because when we're grass farming, we're either farming for hay or we're farming for silage. Those are the different scenarios. But this whole setup does work. I forgot to set the color for the bales to something a little more creative. But it is what it is. Just think it's really cool that this whole setup works. Number one, this mod right here is a pretty cool mod in my humble opinion. I think there was one patch of grass up here that we missed, so I'm gonna go back and see if I can grab that. Excuse me, grab that little patch that I saw up here. It's a little small patch, but we might as well get it all, because one of the things in 22 is in seasons with FS19, grass and the product would eventually decay and disappear. But while Giants did incorporate their version of seasons into the base game with 2022, they did not incorporate that part of the seasons functionality into the game for whatever reason. Excuse me. And that was an element of the seasons functionality that I actually kind of liked. But sometimes, depending on where your product is at on the field, you may be able to get to it and pick it up, or you may not. So it's good if you can't pick it up sometimes, that it won't stay there forever. Okay, so not bad at all. And in some cases, you just have to drive as straight as possible so that the pickup from the baler can get to the product. And when you're turning and all of that stuff, it struggles with picking up product. It's only designed per se to pick up what drops straight behind it. Alright. I'm trying to get this stuff that's right here at the bottom. And then I'll move the mower setup out of the way. And we'll come back and clean up the grass that's in that corner. And then we'll get finally we'll get the strip that's right here over to my right. So let's go ahead and hop off here for a second and move the mower out of the way. And fold the mower back up. We're done with all the mowing we're gonna do for the moment. And that, in fact, we can go ahead and return that lease back to the shop. So let's go in that menu, leased items, and we can return that back to the shop for the second time. Alright, well that's going to wrap it up. I didn't realize we were that close to the window. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in. Like I always say, if you're not having fun doing what you do, then what are you doing? As always, you can find me on all the major social media platforms as Bose831 Gaming on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll pick up from where we are right now on the next episode. But if anything changes, I will let you know at the beginning of the episode. And I will catch you on the flip side. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Have a great day, everyone.